Yo, what is up, guys? I have not done a deck profile in a long time, actually. I don't even remember when the last time I did one. And so, I thought about doing a deck that I actually really like, and that's some SwordSoul, along with some Tenyis, The super strong deck, one of the best decks in the format right now, and also, very good even on a budget, too. So, I'm excited to show you guys what I'm thinking about this budget build, and also, of course, I'll always be playing the decks that I make for you guys. Probably in the next video, I'll take the logos and show you guys how I do with it. But let's get into the deck profile. Alright, so starting off, this is very easy. Super budget. This guy dropped to like $1 or $2. You play 3 of him. He is your access into your boss monster, pretty much, Cheng Ying. I mean, just a ton of damage. Does suck that Paw Desires is at 1 now, but hey, that's still he's still pretty strong, and also the non-targeting banish is pretty good. I mean, like, you'll find out when you start playing, but he's got Long Yuan does a ton of damage. I mean, not only that, Cheng Ying, the burn, really strong. You gotta play 3, and he's just cheap and good. All right, now 3 Tai. He's cheap. Too bad you can't play Mo Ye or Kaisa, those are like literally like not even triple or double or quadruple. It's like 30 times the price of Tai for a Mo Ye. So that's kind of crazy, And also, Tai has a lot of applications. You can send some worm monsters to the grave, and all your Tenyis can activate, if you end up searching your Long Yan, get a token, and then maybe you could do some stuff with the Tenyis because you then have a non-effect monster with the token. So, Taya, if you guys have not been playing this, definitely gotta play it. And now on to the monster lineup for the Tenyis. Triple Vishuddha, not much else to say about it. I mean, level 7, crazy presence in the grave because of the the removal Vishuddha has, and also is kind of your access into getting into Chi Shao to go into your SwordSoul stuff if you didn't draw any. Alright, now we're playing triple Adhara, so we're pretty much just playing 3 of each. Adhara is really good because it's a level 1 tuner, and can also recycle one of your banished, Tenyis back, or, worms in general, but most of the time it's going to be your Tenyis to get some plays going. And of course, the best one, I think, is Ashuna, because Ashuna kind of lets you go into your Yang Xing plays, your Boxia really easily, usually not Yazi, but every now and then it might come up, or the Chao Fang, or even just going into Chi Shao with Ashuna. Alright, and so here, it's made look a little weird, it's not a worm, but it's a Gadarla, because this is a go second build. If you haven't noticed, Tenyis do very well going second, and you can put up easy amounts of damage, and Long Yan also just burns, so you only have to actually kill someone at 6,800. So, get a Gadarla out. You'll probably remove it with your Cheng Ying too, but Gadarla, really great removal, and because Flundereese still can have a Wind Barrier statue, you gotta play it. Time for one of the best spells in the deck, Vessel for the Dragon Cycle. This is pretty much your pseudo Ashuna. You'll be able to get into quite a bit of plays having with Vessel here. Vessel is sending one of your worms to the grave, so maybe that might be loading up your graveyard for something, say like a Taya, then reviving your Taya, stuff like that. There's a lot of different applications for Vessel, so Vessel is just very good. It's like a pseudo Tenyi, so it's very strong actually. Alright, now we have triple SwordSoul Emergence. This card has dropped in price. Last time I checked, it was around $6. And so, you can play 3 of this. And actually, if you want to stay budget, you could, pick up 1 Mo Ye and play triple Emergence. So technically you'll have like 4 copies of Mo Ye. That'll be a pretty funny thing to do. But Emergence, it's like an instant any SwordSoul combo. So you gotta play it. And here, it's a very heavy worm deck. This might be one too many, but I'm playing triple SwordSoul Sacred Summit. The revival effect, you'll be able to play around, certain things, and all in all, it's searchable too. And a lot of the times you're gonna find yourself being able to do a lot more with this than you think, because it's just all worms. Like literally everything in the deck is like worms, except for like Gadarla. The Heavenly Dragon Circle. So this is kind of like a pseudo any worm monster too. Lets you play around, certain stuff, maybe like negations, like targeted destruction, stuff like that. And so Heavenly Dragon Circle actually allows you to do few little cool outplays, because it's also a quick play spell. So very cool. In the one, Pot of Desires, it sucks. Definitely would be playing 3 if we could. Rest in peace, Pot of Desires, my favorite pot. And now some one-ofs here. I decided to put in the instant fusion because the instant fusion package is probably like 50 cents total. You just need the tuner fusion monster, and you're set to go. And then you can put in a few other monsters too. It's just literally like an extender in case your token generation gets negated in some way. Gobbler Grave pretty self-standard, and Gold Sark because it's also a token generator. And now some blowout cards. Gotta get that. Raigeki. I'd main this deck. Not main this deck. I'd main this card. This Raigeki actually breaks a lot more boards than you think, and it for sure will take a negation for most boards anyways, because no one wants to get Raigeki for their whole board. They're gonna have to stop it, and most of the time people's end boards is usually only 1 or 2 monsters that have protection anyways. Like say for example, the hero board, go first heroes. Raigeki absolutely destroys heroes. Like funny enough, like they can't do anything against Raigeki. So like that's just something to think about. Raigeki pretty strong. You can always side it out too. In the Ghost Second Classic, we gotta have some kind of spell trap removal. I feel like in this meta, Twin Twister is the way to go for me. Pretty solid. It's cheaper than Cosmic. Otherwise, I would rather play Cosmic. I feel like Cosmic's a little bit better. Better for trading out, and also hits decks like Eldritch harder because it banishes those spells and traps rather than destroying them, which they can use later. But I guess if you kill, it won't really matter anyways, right? And for the final 2 cards in the deck, 2 SwordSoul Blackout. I like playing 2. One usually to actually use the trap card, and then the other one usually for token generation, or sending it to the grave in some shape or form, and then banishing it for a guaranteed token pretty much. So it's a very strong card. You definitely have to play this, and also helps you for going first, which this deck can actually surprisingly do pretty well too. Alright, site, extra deck time. What am I saying? Pretty standard. 2 Monk of the Tenyi and 1 Shaman of the Tenyi. I don't really have much to say about this. Revival effect comes up very few times, but Monk is here just to make sure your Tenyis are alive. For the Yang Xing stuff, we have of course the double Boxia here, the Yazi and the Chao Feng. For the most part, I've seen Chao Feng, you don't really go into too much with this build in particular, but it'll have its place in some moments. Maybe you're playing against some light deck like Drytron. That deck can't do anything against a Chao Feng unless they have some kind of negation. So that's pretty cool. And Boxia, MVP for breaking boards. You guys should definitely read its effects sometime. And Yazi, you can do some level manipulation to where you might be able to get into Yazi, but for the most part, Boxia is usually where you're going to go into. Alright, for the 2 most important level 8 synchros, we have Qi Xiao here. I have nothing else to say about Qi Xiao. Like, just read it. It's really good card. Helps you get into Cheng Ying instantly, pretty much. Allows if you draw just a handful of Tenyis, you could probably get into your SwordSoul combo just with Qi Xiao. Like, really good. Easy to go into, and a good card going first too. And Draco Berserker the Tenyi is a very strong card for killing, so keep that in mind. It can attack twice, it can banish, it's got a lot of use here. And here for this build, you probably realistically only need 1 Cheng Ying, but I'm playing 2 here because he's kind of your, I guess you could say like win con, because he's just that good. He does a lot of damage, and of course that banish, it's nothing to joke about. Like, getting hit with the banish like that, it hurts a lot of decks. So Cheng Ying, pretty good. Probably would play Qi Xiao at 2, but we're keeping it as budget as possible. And of course, the target for instant fusion, we have the Magic Key Beast, level 4 tuner, all he's there for. So you could definitely play some other targets for instant fusion. I can't really think of any off the top of my head. I don't know. Like, there's a bunch of targets, but You could probably get some regular monsters that aren't tuners too, in case maybe you have like an Adhara that you want to, do something with. So there's a lot of different things you could do with instant fusion, and the package is just cheap, and it gives a little insurance for your combos. And of course, to end it all off, we have a few miscellaneous synchros. Some of these you could probably play other things, but these are just a few things that come to mind that you guys might not be thinking about. Shen Shen can hurt decks pretty hard if all their cards go on the field and then to the grave. They would actually get banished instead. FA Dawn Dragster Spell Trap negates because we can't play Dragite because Moye is expensive. That's just the way it is. And Geomath Mech Final Sugma, card is actually pretty funny, unaffected by card effects while it's in the extra monster zone, but it can still die though by by battle, I guess. Yeah, it's good, but not like crazy or anything like that. So definitely think about playing the second Chi Xiao if you're gonna be playing this deck for a long time. So we got the main monsters out of the way. Let's head on to some combos that I can think of just off the top of my head that are easy to go into. So let's get it rolling. Alright guys, so here's a simple 2-card combo. Ashuna and plus any of the other Tenyis. I actually think, Ashuna and the Vessel should work too. But we're going to do it this way. Easy to look at. Ashuna, special it, go for the Monk immediately. And of course you always want to get the Tenyi out of your hand first before you activate an Ashuna, because you have to control no effect monsters to special from hand. So then from here, since we have Adhara, we go for the opposites, this shooter here. So now we have level 7 and a level 1 tuner. Pretty simple stuff, and here's what I'm saying. You always have the SwordSoul stuff you're able to go into because of Chi Xiao. And so from here, a couple different things you could do. You could always add the trap if you're scared, or think a double pop is stronger. You could go Emergence. A lot of different things you could do. You could do Emergence into Long Yawn, or just get Long Yawn. You could go Taya. We haven't normal yet, but Chi Xiao is once per turn, and you can only use one of the effects. So unless you want to go to like Draco Berserker the Tenyi, I guess you could do that. But so for here, we would just get the Emergence here. Pretty simple stuff. Of course, there's a lot of different things you could think about. Like if your opponent's playing Droll, you probably wouldn't add the Emergence. You'd rather add Long Yawn. But for the most part, Droll isn't too strong against the SwordSoul Tenyi. And from here, you can get a monster back in your hand to discard off Long Yawn with your Adhara, and then you're just gonna end up discarding it to activate the Long Yawn. And then from here, you got a typical board, although not the strongest card in the world here on board. It's still pretty good for just 2 cards in your hand, and of course you get that small burn off the top. So I mean, not bad. It's a a 1 negate, 1 face-up monster negate, and also a double banish, I guess you could say. So that's pretty good with a few follow-up next turn, slightly, and 3 cards in hand that you did not use. So that's pretty strong. Alright, here's a 3-card combo. So kind of the same thing, Ashuna plus any of the other Tenyis, or Vessel for the Dragon Cycle. Pretty strong. So here, if we already have the SwordSoul card in hand, we don't have to really think too much about this. We can just go for the Chao Fang combo, which I'm going to show you here. We can go Vessel here, which has a bonus effect for if you use a monster that a non-effect monster on board. I don't know why that took me so long to say, but here you're able to send one and then add one of a different name. And of course, don't forget, always special summon from your hand before you do any of the other stuff. And then here, now you can activate Ashuna and get the opposite one here. And from here, probably some people just don't know about this, I don't know, but you go for Boxia here. Pretty easy. You don't activate the on summon effect, so be careful for that. But you activate his second effect. You're going to target the Monk of the Tenyi to destroy and the Adhara. So you pretty much destroy and then special summon the Adhara. And from here, you go into Chao Fang. And now you're smooth sailing. You are free from Nibiru. You are free from Effect Veiler. And you instantly beat any light based deck. And so then from here, you do your regular SwordSoul combo here. you can activate here. Banish probably the monk, I would say, is probably the pick here. And then don't forget to activate your Adhara, because you kind of need to activate it there, because you won't have a you won't be able to activate it because you need a non-effect monster on board. And so you gotta do it right there, and then you can go, of course, Chi Shao. Simple stuff, simple stuff. You can chain block the Chi Shao, funny enough here, and of course send another monster. Usually I like sending the Tenyis because the Sword Soul monsters are a bit stronger in hand, from what I've seen. Of course, you could always just send literally any Sword Soul card anyways, but I think all of them are pretty strong except for Blackout. Blackout's probably the weakest out of them all, but I want to load up probably another Vishuda. You have a bunch of options, and of course I like Long Yon, or you could have gone for Blackout, same thing, or Emergence into Long Yon, same thing. Don't need to think too hard here, kind of just a small logistical thing. And from there, with just 3 cards in your hand, although a little bit specific, but I guess not that specific, but you get on the same board and then lock your opponent out of activating light monsters. So that is pretty nice. I mean, those are all just going first combos, and this deck is built to go second. So with that in mind, we can do some pretty crazy stuff. So it's easier for me to show you guys the going first combos. Going second is a little bit weird because you're trying to break a board and kill someone at the same time, so it's not every combo's the same. But for this deck, the combos are kind of the same. I don't know. We can worry about that later when we get to the locals run. So that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about this budget deck, because I think this budget deck is probably one of the strongest right now. As far as I can tell, I can't think of any budget deck stronger. I guess maybe like some kind of budget variant of PK. I don't know. Nah. Bird? No, Bird got hit pretty hard. Tri-Brigade? Yeah, Tri-Brigade's still pretty good. Yeah, Tri-Brigade's pretty good still, actually. Are they budget? Yeah, they're kind of budget, So yeah, that's gonna be it for me, guys. Let me know what you guys think again, and I'll see you guys later. So, peace out.